It's the best sauce ever. Really
You look
great,
like Donald
actually.
Trump right now. I just want
It's
to say
it's
you're Donald
really
Trump.
great, actually. It's the best sauce, really. We just lost half our viewership right there.
No, we are not taking political side right now. We are just stating he looked like Donald Trump with his
Listen,
hands.
it was a joke. We made a joke. It's okay to laugh.
Okay.
But yeah, man. But
We
I'm
just
really.
got us shut down, so
I know we did. We just got demonetized. Uh,
we never were. Welcome everyone to the 600 Pound Down podcast. I'm Coach Justin along with Coach George. And man, it has been a hot minute since we've had a hot minute together, my man. I missed you. I know we don't get to record these episodes as often as usual, but best believe when there's some things in the fitness industry that needs talked about, we're gonna knock on each other's doors and have that conversation for the people, man. How are you, George?
Doing really, really well. We are in a fat loss phase, you and I, Coach Jay, and it's going. We're in the early stages, so we're getting some things. We're kind of like getting the kinks out, dusting ourselves off a little bit. But man, ever since that podcast with Elaine, I just have been having the burning desire to lift heavy, and I've been able to post a little bit in the 600 Pounds Down group and on Facebook, kind of encouraging people a little bit. And my lifts are going up, brother. It's great.
Bro's living at the gym right now, by the way. You are. How often are you there right now?
I mean, I'm there now 4 times a week. But Jay, I'm doing cardio now.
I,
Let's go.
I was telling George was texting me about him doing. First off, George does not do cardio. His cardio
I
is
do
walking
not.
all the way back and forth at his workplace. But
That's
he has started doing some cardio exercises to cut some fat. And I was like, the return of Jesus is coming soon. Like I'm just saying, like this is miraculous. If you understand George, you understand his middle name is not cardio. It is strong man. Good for you though. It's so good. The cardio, and the good news is cardio does more than just the fat loss principle. It actually will cardiovascularly be better for you and also for your lungs and all that respiratory system, all that stuff, right? It's just good for you. How do you liking it? Are you bored?
Well, so like I'm a TV guy, so I'll just either watch something. I do the 30-30 an hour or 3-3 hour. So 3 speed, 3 incline for an hour. And so, get some emails done, call some people, get some stuff going. I'm editing my book right now. So
Nice.
yes, there is a book
Nice.
coming. I don't know when it's coming, but it's coming.
Speaking of books too, though, we're working on a 63-day book as well. So like we
We
got some
are.
good material coming out, and I love, George is you had a book in the works for a little bit now though, and it's
100%.
finally in the process of almost being completed.
Almost, yeah. I'm doing the final revisions. I got a friend of mine writing the forward right now. Not only is he a pastor, he's a former Olympic athlete. So I figure there's no one else better to write it. Talking about how faith informs your fitness, brother. So that's what we do. That's what we're about, right?
That's what I'm talking about. So we're talking. So you and I are in this fat loss phase and muscle building phase, like trying to get the fat off. So it's been interesting. I yo-yo, right? I'm a person who easily puts on weight, somewhat easily can take it off, but I got to be so consistent. And I'm just trying to give myself some grace. Like what was it? I lost, I think I told you 4 pounds this past it was like 3.5 pounds over a week. And then I gain it all back because of my blood sugar dip. I had more carbohydrates and I had a couple extra portions of carbohydrates throughout that day. It wasn't a ton though. But I should have made sure I wrote it down. But anyways, it can be discouraging. But the good news is I'm still doing my thing. So I know I'm becoming healthier even with the stuff that I'm doing. And it might be a hot minute that when I get it off, but it will happen. I know it will. So anyways, welcome back, Coach George. So do you want to jump in with us today, George? You think we should just jump into the GLP-1 discussion today? Because I think we're in a place to talk about that because it's everywhere. It is everywhere right now. That's our target for today, guys, is this GLP-1 craze right now. Hot topic.
yeah, and I think we're going to be coming through my other mic, so we're going to move that over there.
You're
And
good.
But honestly, so I apologize, guys. I'm having some technical difficulties, but we're gonna get this out to you because this is important. So yeah, GLP-1s are everywhere. GLP-1s are. I mean, I don't know if you see the commercials. I see the commercials all the time. Wegovy, Ozempic. It's everywhere. And people are not just having conversations like this with their doctors; they're having it with friends, with family. I've had a pastor friend of mine talk to about it with his family, and he wants to know our take. So, Nate, if you're listening, this is our take. So,
You know, it's funny because we are asked that, right? And
all the time.
we're living in a culture now where it is everywhere. People are it's a is I think it's been up to a multi-billion-dollar industry right now, which is like wow. But you know, people it just shows me, and here's what I want to make sure, guys. I don't want to paint anything as evil. I don't want to paint anything as, you know, if you do this, you're going to die. We just want to talk about what happens if you do choose that route. What happens? What are the side effects that are out there? What are the risks that are out there? You guys need to know these things. Just because your doctor tells you go ahead and take this doesn't mean you should. I feel the same way about cholesterol medication. It's not for everyone. And there are time and places for certain things. And in this situation, we're talking about the GLP-1 and GLP-1s, and especially you know the Wegovy, Ozempic, all those ones that are so on commercials these days, and what we believe about them, what science says about them, and our opinions on them. But let's be honest, we've heard, like, I'm in the coaching field, George, you're in a coaching field. I've had people come to me and say, "Hey, my doctor's suggesting this. They're suggesting, you know, I can't lose." Here's a typical. Let's set up a typical scenario. I'm an individual walking into the doctor. I'm 30 to 50 pounds overweight, and everything I tried just isn't working for me, right? So, I mean, I'm getting older. I'm just using a scenario, right? So just to paint the picture. I'm getting older. I mean, issues with my health. Blood pressure is getting a little high. I just want this weight off. It's causing my joints to deteriorate, all these things. And quickly the doctor says, well, if nothing's working for you, let's put you on a micro dose or a small dose of a GLP-1 agonist. In that situation, people will tend to get on them, and there are some things that happen. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but it's important that you know they're if you look at this as a it's going to fix me, it's going to fix me right up. I truly believe that's not the right stance to take, because these things will not fix, and George, you and I will talk about this, man. These things will not fix a mind that is not transformed on their views of food and the views of their health.
I mean, it's one thing to talk about it; it's another thing to do it. And we do want to put this at the forefront. I think Justin said it best. You know, we'll share our opinion, right? And it is an opinion, right? We're not medical doctors. We're not trying to give you medical advice. Now, what we are encouraging you to do is to have some critical thinking. I want you to think this through with us, right? Because we're not physicians, but if you are considering taking these, right? What we don't like to do is we don't like to bypass formation. I want to define what formation is. Formation is habitual decision making, right? So sustainable weight loss is all about habitual decision making, right? The habits we create, the things that we do, how we live throughout our day. And listen, 720 pounds, Jay. We lost 720 pounds together, right? We know what it feels like to stand in front of a mirror
Yep.
and realize something has to change,
Yep.
right? We're not, we have not, we can look back at a time we were not fit, all right? And so, because, 600 pounds down has always been about long term change, it would be dishonest of us not to talk about what GLP-1s are actually doing inside the body, right? This is not us trying to be polemic. This is not us trying to stir up any kind of panic or kind of hatred and anything like that. But it's not just a question about whether something works, right? It's the question of what kind of person it helps you become.
Yep. Yep. And so let's talk about that. A person you become. Uh-oh, got the echo going on over there. I think we're good now. We got some technical difficulties, guys, so we're doing okay. We're doing okay. So don't get too distracted. We're gonna keep on track as much as possible. It's interesting, George, because we've been trying to record this episode. You've been trying to record this a solo ep for a
Yes.
couple weeks now, and then we tried it tonight, and just it feels like things just don't work out. So maybe we have a little opposition. So keep that in mind, guys, as you're listening into this. I do believe there's some spiritual elements of things. It could be coincidence, but it's interesting. But let's talk about a GLP-1. Like what actually is it? And what it is, it stands for a glucagon-like peptide 1. That's the, if you want to call it the definition or what it actually means, GLP-1. Okay, so that's what it actually means if you want to say the whole word. And it is a hormone. Just so y'all know, it is a hormone that is already, George, this is what blows my mind. It's already in our body. It already exists, man. It already exists. And so because it already exists, you have it. Like we all have that right now, right? So I want you guys to know that. It's important that we identify that. So how it works though, how it works is after you eat, I'll put it in simple terms in a minute, but after you eat, the gut releases that GLP-1 as part of what's called it's at the incretin system. Anyway,
Yeah.
but it basically it communicates with the pancreas and the brain. Okay, it talks to one another. So this is all about insulin production. So it helps regulate the insulin. And so what that means is when your blood sugar rises, insulin's released, right? Insulin gets released, and then it helps that to get absorbed into the cells, kind of like a key to your cells, all right, to put the glucose in there, the energy into the cell. But what happens from there is it slows down the digestion, which means what? It triggers this satiety part of your brain that states, hey, you're full, right? That injection helps you feel full faster, if you will. So that's what the peptide does, is it tones down the hunger signal. It slows down the whole, I don't know about you, George, I've had this before, like I'm still hungry, like I eat
Yes.
like a horse and I want more food. So that kind of subsides that a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot of it actually. So people have more control with their food. So it's like, okay, food's arrived, let's handle the glucose appropriately, we're going to slow things down, and you don't need any more right now. So now we're good. So what that means is it helps you eat less. We'll talk about this later, there are ways to activate the GLP-1 without the agonist, without the actual injections for yourself, which I find interesting. But what are your thoughts on this? Like people get hungry, they're staying hungry, they're eating so fast, they're eating the wrong foods probably, and they're thinking this injection is going to help them overall. Like that's.
I mean, if their goal is to lose weight, you're definitely going to lose weight. Like that's not the question. The question has never been, are you or are you not going to lose weight, right? It's the law of thermodynamics. You take in less than what your body needs, you're going to lose weight. Facts. That's never been a problem for me to accept, for me to affirm. But here's what it is. This is where I want the caution to be, right? That my hesitation, if you will, does not come from denying the results, right? Sometimes people's blood sugar improves. Sometimes you're so obsessed with food that turning that hunger signal off really just kind of clears your mind, clears the fog, right? Those outcomes are good. But my concern, it starts where how those results are achieved, right? So if appetite itself is what we're diluting, we need to remember that appetite itself is not the enemy, right? Hunger is not a defect in the human design, right? Most people struggling with obesity are not just battling hunger alone. Justin, we've had so many interviews that I am convinced, man, that hunger is a symptom of a problem, that obesity is a symptom of the problem, food addiction is a symptom of the problem, right? They're battling something emotional, spiritual, mental. Give me your battle, right? It's distorted and disordered responses to hunger. So when hunger intensity is chemically reduced, the need to practice governing and owning that appetite, it also gets reduced. And that creates a real question. If someone never learns how to navigate that hunger, to navigate that stress eating, that boredom eating, the emotional triggers without the medication, What happens when the medication stops, right? What if your insurance changes? What if the supply runs out? What if the side effects appear and you have to stop taking it in order for your body to recover? Or life circumstances, what have you? Progress built entirely on suppression. I don't see that lasting. And it's fragile, right? It's the opposite of what we've always talked about.
Yeah, that's the thing. Kind of goes back to the quick fix mentality, right? It's like if you haven't dealt with the mindset of how you view food, and if you haven't dealt with the mindset of this hunger intensity, like you said, George, you have this injection that you can use to help you with that, but you've never really coped with the issue at hand. And that's what we're trying to, I guess that's what we're trying to do, right? The boredom eating, the emotional triggering eating, all the things that go along with that has to be dealt with. Has to be dealt with. Yeah, this is a pretty deep subject. Like this is something that I really feel like could really help a lot of people, help make their shift in their mindset of what they want to do. But I think, George, there's also, it is such a fragile topic too. Like I'm trying to think where I want to go with it though. Like part of me, do we continue to camp out on this area? But there's more to talk about. Like I would talk about, maybe the trade-offs, or the side effects, right? Like what comes with this? What are the outcomes that we're going to see here when people decide to go this direction? Now, don't get me wrong. I know people who have done this and they've had some pretty great results, in the short term, at least. And it's interesting because it seems like they're getting healthier. Now, I will say there are people I know who have gotten this done and they're getting really skinny. Okay, they're getting really, really skinny. And so, yeah, but they don't talk about the side effects that come along with it. And when I say skinny, George, I'm not talking like healthy skinny. I'm talking their body's shrinking, so their mass in general is shrinking, but technically not their body composition is not getting to a point where it's healthy looking. And I'm not making fun of anyone or calling anybody out about that. I'm stating if you want to lose size mass, absolutely that'll happen. That will happen because it helps you eat less. And if you eat less food, what's going to happen? You're going to be like, okay, I'm shrinking. It's just the way it is. Like that's calorie burning 101. Eat less food and go into. I mean, yes, that's going to happen. The same thing would happen if you sewed your mouth shut. Okay, so just know that. But there are some common side effects that we have to be aware of. Like things like nausea. Some people really have that issue where they can't really eat too much and for certain periods of time because the side effect of nausea. Okay, if I eat something right now, I'm gonna be sick. So that causes that to maybe slow down for you. And anything with like the gastric system, like vomiting, even constipation, which is not comfortable, by the way. Even like loose stool, diarrhea, that's all part of the normal side effects. From it comes down to the digestion being slowed down, though. That's what happens. Like things are slowing down, could cause some delayed signaling to the brain, and what happens with that is your digestive system reacts accordingly to the signals that it's getting, which could cause some issues to take place, like we just talked about, right? But there's other things beyond those. I would call those, George. Those are more of like the low bar. Okay, if they happen, we can survive that. That'd be okay. We can live with a little bit of that, right? But it can go even deeper with that. Like there's also medical warnings that are associated with these types of drugs. And you can go ahead and argue that there's always going to be a risk factor for any drug you take. And you're absolutely right. However, these are a little different because of how they mimic a hormone and your body's kind of getting a different alert system, if you will. Okay, so pancreatitis risk. Nobody wants to have that. That is not fun to go through. And if you do have even, if you have some genetic issues in your family that comes down to the pancreas, like pancreatic cancer or anything like that, you want to be very careful with that. You don't want to mess around with that. I would say that first and foremost. Your gallbladder, I mean, that can happen too. You could have gallbladder issues. You might have to get that removed. During the weight loss phase, right? Because it has to catch up. There's things that happen in the body metabolically that your system has to correlate with. I mean, the signals, hormonal signals have to happen. They have to correlate with one another and be on time with one another and on the cues. things are sometimes off when this happens. But there's also, George, and this is something that not many people talk about, is the potential of cancer
Yeah.
that we don't hear about so much. And this isn't all. There's like Ozempic face. They call Ozempic face. There's muscle loss. I mean, there's you can name a few. I mean, there's other things out there, more side effects out there that we should understand and paint because, again, risk factors. And we want to ensure that everyone is aware of what could happen, not as a scare tactic, just as an observation, right? Just as an observation. So I don't know. I mean, this again, I've had people take these things and they're on a season right now in their life where like everything's fine. But are they really fine? And we don't even know what happens in about 10 years if you're using this for weight loss purposes and not just diabetic purposes.
Yeah, I'm always wary of something that doesn't have the opportunity to have long-term studies yet, you know. I'm a big long-term studies guy. I like to see what long-term studies are. And everything that is brand new, that is proposed to work, works well on the outset. You know, I mean, it works well, but we never know, especially with the body, with everything that you just talked about. Those are things you can't see offhand, right? People are very aesthetic, right? We want to see if I see that I can lose weight on this, sure. I can't see pancreatitis, right? I can't see
Feel it.
I can't see like the insides of my body deteriorating, and then I only start feeling it after it's gotten to a certain point, and now I got to deal with it, right? And so it just wisdom is good. You know, wisdom is necessary in something like this. I would encourage that. I would encourage thoughtfulness. I would encourage second, third, fourth opinions. Whenever you're messing with your body's hormones, I think the hormonal system in the human body doesn't get enough credit. It really does drive a whole bunch of things, a whole lot of things, and to start chemically messing intentionally with that, because everything's connected. You start messing with one thing, you start messing with 10 things, and I'm very weary of
Yeah.
injecting something into your body that messes with that.
Well, let's and so yes, and then navigating further along when you inject something in your body like such that mimics a hormone, um, sure, it can be helpful, but again, doesn't erase the potential side effects like you just talked about, the things you don't see. But George, what about the things we can see? And enough studies have shown that a reliance on these GLP-1 agonists creates something that I know you would just cry about, and that's
Oh
muscle
yeah.
loss. Muscle
Yeah.
loss.
Yeah. So let's talk about this for a second,
Let's
because
talk
we're
about
talking.
this, Mr. Gaines. Let's have a conversation on shrinking the body.
Why do I feel like in my, because I kind of went through two transformations. I experienced this without being on Ozempic. I just want to point that out. I did this all natural, which I think is a lot more difficult, but I had a lot of issues I had to work through. But anyway, when I got down to 175, 174 pounds, I was 6'2", and I was wearing a size small and a 30-inch waist, Jay. I was this. I lost mass. I lost weight. I did not just lose fat. Because one of the most overlooked parts, like you said, of this entire conversation, now I'm preaching.
Now you're getting mad.
Because weight loss is never purely fat loss, right? Whenever body weight decreases, some portion of lean mass is going to get lost. It's just going to happen, right? Lean mass includes skeletal muscle, connective tissue, other metabolically active tissue, okay? So GLP-1 medications reduce appetite. So reduced appetite frequently leads to reduced protein intake and fewer total meals, right? So what happens? Energy intake drops quickly. And I'm going to tell you this right now. The average American diet is already low on protein. You start putting people on GLP-1s, it's only going to get worse. All right? So resistance training, here's what resistance training tells your body. Keep the muscle because you're requiring it to keep the muscle, because you keep putting resistance onto it. If I keep moving weight, that tells my body, oh, we do this on a regular basis. So that means we should probably keep the muscle that allows us to do this on a regular basis. So resistance training, without that, the body adapts by shedding muscle. Why? We don't need it. Listen, your muscles are not ornaments, they're instruments. I'm going to say that one more time. Your muscles are not ornaments, they are instruments. And muscle is often misunderstood as cosmetic, but it is metabolically critical. You want to know why I can eat 3,500 calories a day, Justin?
I want to know why, because I'm mad about it. So.
Because I have 85 pounds of lean muscle mass on me. Right? So muscle improves glucose disposal, right? I can handle glucose more efficiently. More muscle you have, the more glucose you can take in because it goes into your muscles. Muscle supports insulin sensitivity. Muscle maintains resting metabolic rate. My resting metabolic rate is 1,800 calories. I have to intake 1,800 calories just to be alive. And I'm learning this more and more, and I'm loving this aspect more and more. Muscle protects against injury and long-term frailty. You will live longer, and that longer life will be lived better.
What happens when people lose muscle, though? That's the question.
Well, I'm so glad you asked that question. That's a wonderful question. That's the kind of question that makes the world go around. So when people lose muscle, they're not able to handle calories efficiently, right? You start affecting your hormones because, especially in men, the less muscle you have, the less testosterone moves around in your system, in your body, right? The more muscle you have, the more efficient your testosterone moves throughout your body. And when you become weaker, you move less. When you move less, you start really breaking down tendons. You get older, your tendons don't work as well, your joints don't work as well. And it's one of those issues where this tissue is required to live life. Muscle is required to live life. If you don't have that, you're not going to live it well.
Well, quality of life. Yeah.
Take every good thing I just said and take that away.
Yeah. It's quality.
You just negate all of that, right?
Yeah. And even slowing down your metabolism, like we just said, right? I mean, that's the other thing too. When you decrease muscle, your overall metabolic rate is down, man. It is not like you don't burn as many calories. It's easier. So George and I at times when my body's operating effectively, efficiently, George can have himself 4 or 5 pieces of pizza and he would be fine. Like because of his muscle mass on his body, he could easily burn that up. Now, don't get me wrong, physiologically speaking, there could be some responses to the body, right? Not so healthy, not so good. And then, but on the inside or on the outside, he could burn that off. Like he could do pretty well because he's burning efficiently. When you're taking in something like this, that's going to make you lose. I wouldn't say it's going to make you because you can be smart about it. I believe that people who take GLP-1 injections, agonists, they can be smart about what they eat, which then can slow down the progression of muscle loss as long as they're eating adequately enough. Maybe even taking essential amino acids with that and some other things and resistance training along with it. So there's some things that you might need to do in order to prevent that from happening. But it is a downward spiral, a downward trend when you lose muscle. Because it is really, I mean, you're gonna, as time goes on, the more muscle mass you lose, the muscle's a longevity organ, friends. So if you continue to keep losing and reducing that, then a whole bunch of other things could happen to the body as well. But I know, George, you're never going to quit lifting anytime soon.
Well, and here's one more.
Well,
here's one more thing I want to add too, because there was a recent study done by a very reputable training organization. Because eventually you're going to have to come off. You can't stay on GLP-1s forever. Eventually you have to come off. Because when you lose mass without resistance training and you lose muscle, your metabolism slows down. So when you come off of the GLP-1, you've done now 2 things. 1, you've told your body that it doesn't need muscle. 2, you have reduced your body's ability to metabolize food well. So what do those 2 things have in common? Regain is too easy. Because when you come off the GLP-1 and you've already told your body, I don't need muscle, and you've destroyed your metabolism along with it because you cut down to, like, as a grown man, 1,200 or 1,000 calories, you start eating normal again, you get off the GLP-1, not only may you regain the weight you just lost, you might even get heavier because now you're metabolically, you are worse off than you were before the drug.
Yes. Yes. You trade it off for a quick loss, and you trade off that, and then the body starts to lose muscle, and then now you want to get off, and now you're like starting at ground zero somewhat. Yeah, I 100% believe that. Now, here's the thing. We are shifting in culture today because, again, this is all over the place. There's a cultural shift that is happening, George. And it used to be like, remember, and you and I still believe this to this very day. It requires hard work. It requires discipline. It requires healthy habits, and it requires you to make sure that you're doing the very best you can to stay persistent and consistent on your journey. And I love priding myself on hard work. I mean, without me doing this journey and maintaining this journey, guess what? I wouldn't have learned what I've learned today. I appreciate the long journey. I appreciate the difficult times. I really do. And I know you do too. And you're chasing that thrill, man. I mean, I see those pictures of you and videos in the gym, man. You're chasing that life. But you're learning, and I'm learning so much as we go through it. Like, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I don't want an injection. I don't want a shot. I don't want a doctor telling me to take this pill. I don't think they're always necessary. And I wouldn't have gotten what I have now if I did something like that. My old self, though, I will be honest with you, my old self was this. What can I do to make this really quick? What can I do to make this so it happens so easily? And you were the same way. I remember you're talking about your story in the past and OMAD approach. Like you see it. Like you were losing a lot of weight. And I say weight in quotations because that's what was happening. You're losing a lot. But was it really weight? No, George, it was muscle and fat, right? You saw that.
Oh, it absolutely. The way I ended that, because I mean, we say I lost 120 pounds. Really, it was 135.
135, yeah.
Yeah. And I got to Ozempic status, if you want to call it that. I mean, I was there. I had people tell me, George, you don't look good. You look sick. And the crazy thing is that I thought I was still fat. Isn't that crazy?
You were blind to yourself. Yeah.
Oh, that's nuts to me, man.
Yeah. You were blind to yourself. No, and so the shift is happening in the culture, and we're wanting this quick get fix now scheme, right? This is what happens without identifying why we actually need this. Have you really tried everything out there? Have you truly put in the work? And if you could say yes, I'm going to ask you, was it with the right formula for your life? Was it the right ingredients for you to actually see the fat come off and the muscle become built? Because when you want to talk physiologically speaking, we're talking about the body, guess what? When you do the right things, you will see differences. You might not see it all on a scale number, but you will see it in a body composition. Okay? Identify that. Okay? So please, 1 + 1 is 2. The science is clear out there. Unless you have some form of genetic predisposition or some kind of hormonal fluctuation imbalance, which there are things you can do for that too, you will do this. You will eat less, eat more protein, eat less calorie if you're trying to lose fat, and so have a calorie reduction. And then you're going to move your body, and you're going to burn some calories. You're going to be in a calorie deficit. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to shrink. Your fat's going to shrink. And if you're eating enough protein, you're not going to lose much muscle. In fact, you might even gain muscle, especially if you start lifting weights. That's the math. It's like body results 101. But I think people, George, are tired of doing that. They don't want we think discomfort is a bad thing. We think, oh, why would I ever want to do that? That is hard. And it's like we become these babies in life. And I'm not talking about people who are on Ozempic right now or Wegovy or whatever other shots and injections are out there. I'm not making fun of you for that. I'm not saying it about you per se. But what I am saying is if you're the person who says, I don't want to do anything hard. No, then there's a problem mentally. You have to
Yes.
overcome that and build the disciplines. If you're on this because you failed everything else in the sense of like nothing works for you, then okay, then a short period of time you do what you have to do. But I tell you what, for the majority of Americans who are on this thing, it doesn't need to happen. That's where I'm at with that. And I really believe that.
I think out of everybody who's on it right now, really only 2% need it. And I'm highballing the
I'll give it
2%.
4. I'll give it 4%.
You want to give it
but
4?
Okay.
All right, you're more
I'll
gracious
give
than I am. I'll go on your lead here. I'll follow your lead here. Maybe we need to go 4%. This is 600 pounds down. Not confess. This is a confessional
Show some
fitness.
grace.
We'll go
Show some-
4%.
That was some grace, bro. It's probably like 20%, but we're just being jerks.
Because there are situations, right? I'm not saying there's situations that warrant it, but there are situations that make space for it. I do want to say it that way because everybody's different. Everybody is different, right? I mean, you could have severe insulin resistance, you could have significant metabolic dysfunction, you could have decades-long appetite signaling disorders, right? Now this is over and above just your everyday, I'll just say everyday American, right? Because the obesity rate in America is going up, up, and up. I want to say it's at least 50%. So I want to say it's 50%. But what I do want to say in that regard is that if you do find yourself there and there's some serious, and let me emphasize serious disorders, something medically going on, and that appetite gets dropped, you have a couple of opportunities here. You have your consistent protein intake, right? You have whole food meal structure. You have strength training habits, movement routines, sleep stability. You have an opportunity here to be able to build some really wonderful things with some training wheels on. But the training wheels don't drive the bicycle, right? You still got to pedal. You still got to pedal the bike. But having those training wheels on might make it a little bit easier.
Yep.
But it doesn't mean you can't stop pedaling.
Yep. I like that. That's so putting everything in layman's terms, right? It's just the thing that it is. So guys, hear what we're saying, hear it out of love. And if you're a person who's assuming today, like, man, I need to do this and my doctor's recommending it, you can reach out for some coaching. We will put you through that. We will encourage you to go through a plan that really helps you, that motivates you and gets you to a place where you can control your hunger, control your appetite, burn some fat, gain some muscle, become healthier in mind, body, and spirit. It's all connected together, and you can do that. So, but let's talk on a positive note.
Yeah.
When do these things make sense for people, right? Like, when is it okay to maybe pursue something, understanding the risks, understanding that these might give me some long-term issues, and I'm willing to take that risk. Like, what if you're at that point? And I think number one, you really have to have good communication with your doctor. Okay, really trust your doctor, really trust that they have their best interest in mind and not trying to gather a paycheck or gather another person under their belt and say, all right, get out of my office. Like, they really care about you as a person and not just about your symptoms. All right, and I mean that. So please find somebody you trust and make sure you are supervised on this. And people who have severe insulin resistance, this might be a thing for you, because if you don't get that taken care of, there's also the risk of disease happening because of that, right? You can get diabetes, you can become or have high blood pressure from that. You can have uncontrollable cholesterol numbers and so on. If you have, maybe you're a person who has metabolic dysfunction going on, where you literally have tried everything in a whole wide world and it's just not working. The fat's not budging. Hormonally, you're kind of like up in the air. There might be a space for that for a season of time. I heard a study from, I think it was Dr. Axe, actually, which I really admire. He actually said something along the lines of, there are such things as really small microdosing of these injections, and actually have been shown to be beneficial in some people. And he's not for them per se, but we're saying for some people it might be something that they respond better to, as long as there's an action plan in place, George, that they're not going to do something unhealthy for themselves. Like you take this injection, this agonist, but you really have to be aware of what food you put in your body so you can keep the muscle on the body. You want to make sure you're feeding your body well with antioxidants and exercising so you're taking care of the overall health of your body. All that stuff is vital for you if you're going to be someone who goes into the GLP-1 space to do that. And maybe, I think the things you can do along the way to help you in this process, consistent protein intake. If you're taking the GLP-1s, consistent protein intake. I'm talking like 25 plus grams per meal. So important. I'm all about that life. Whole foods over the processed, ultra processed junk that's not going to help you. Why put something in your body on top of putting more stuff in your body? Like, don't do that, okay? Give your body a break and say, all right, I'm giving you this injection. I'm giving you this agonist. It's going to help me in the short term here, but I need to make sure I feed my body appropriately as I do that. I would encourage that. Get rid of the ultra processed foods. Eat as whole as possible. George, you already talked about this. Strength training, do it. You want to preserve the muscle as much as possible. You want to take care of your heart, take care of your muscle on the body, take care of even that continues, that helps with blood sugar, that helps with cholesterol numbers. It raises your HDL, your good cholesterol, doing resistance training. George, you probably have like 500 HDL right now. You're like I mean, and make sure your sleep's good and make sure you stress less and just do all those things along with it. So you're taking care of yourself to minimize the impact that this medication could do, this hormone could do to your body as it's given as an injection form. I really feel like that's needed to be said today because I never want to communicate that we're hating on anyone or anything. We are both very passionate about natural wellness approaches. Okay, we are not fans of medications. We are not fans of anything unnatural. Though I am on a medication for sleep here and there. I'm on a medication for anxiety here, and I don't like it, but it's just one of those things. It's temporary for me. But if we can do something natural, I want to go as natural as possible before I go to that direction. So I hope you heard that. I am not ashamed to say I'm on a medication, but I am not okay with saying I'm going to be on it forever. Okay, there's a difference there. Unless it's life-threatening, then you kind of need it. So,
Right.
Anyway, what do you got, George?
Well, and just the questions that you need to ask is why am I using this? What habits am I actively trying to build right now? Who's holding me accountable? What happens when the medication stops? I think that's a great question. And these are questions that are, again, they're not meant to discourage you. It's just they might possibly protect you. I mean, they could kind of ease the pain of disappointment, or they could maybe make you reevaluate the idea of maybe this isn't for me right now, right? Because honestly, Jay, there is skepticism, toward GLP-1 in the broad, cultural sense, right? Now, we don't believe medicine is inherently bad. No, we're not saying that. But because obesity has never just been a hormone problem, right? Again, the more we interview people, the more I'm seeing it as it's behavioral, environmental, emotional, social, mental, spiritual. It's not just the weight, bro. It's never just the weight. And medication can help, but it does not replace the long-term habit-forming decisions that will keep you for the long haul, man. You gotta own it.
Ownership. That's
You
the
gotta
key
own
word.
it.
Yeah. Own your health, own your lifestyle. Let's make it work, right? You got to have an intensity. The same hope that we have when we take these GLP-1 injections, these agonists, you should have the same hope in how you can handle this in a natural way as well. Like if you need to seriously have a hope of exhausting all avenues before you start something like this that you might need in this short term, right? Like really have that motivation. What if we had the same hope? Because guys, here's the truth. You actually in your body right now, dun dun dun, I think we said this already. You have the GLP-1 hormone. The peptide is there. Like you have it. George, you have it. I have it. Isn't that crazy?
It's amazing. It's incredible, really.
it's naturally released from it's naturally released from your cells, really, into your small intestines when you eat food, especially nutrient rich food. When as soon as it hits your gut, that job, GLP-1, what it's supposed to do, increase your insulin right now. Let's take care of this glucose that's in your body, and then it reduces the glucagon in the body. It slows the emptying of the body of the food and increases satiety. Right, so that's already there. And you can have that released. You can have that ability to actually stimulate the GLP-1 release. And it comes with the foods that are in our houses all the time. But you have to stop the ultra processed junk, and you have to stop the I'm going to have a couple beers every night. I mean, these things will slow the progression of these things. I'm not saying that to judge you. I'm saying that because I care about you and love you, and I want you to understand that we honestly throw a lot on the fire ourselves from our bad habits. Okay? But when you consume or eat foods that are good for you, like George, protein right there. When your body digests and breaks down protein and uses those amino acids, as soon as it reaches the small intestine, man, they're gonna activate those L cells that are necessary to secrete the GLP-1 hormone.
That's right, man.
And so, what are your favorite proteins, George? I mean, I love eggs. Do you like eggs?
I like eggs. I'm just lazy. Well, I'm not lazy. I'm very busy. So I have eggs, but not as much as I would like. Really, honestly, you want to know what I have for breakfast every single morning without fail?
You have coffee, and you have a fat bomb coffee.
I do not have a fat bomb coffee. I have black coffee with Martha Stewart caramel sauce. I found it at TJ Maxx. I'm TJ Maxxing.
You're so bad right now. Stop it.
But I have 3 cups of cottage cheese.
3 cups of cottage cheese.
3 cups of full fat cottage cheese, 660 calories. I eat the container, has casein protein, has healthy fats. I get the Daisy, which only has 4 ingredients, no filler ingredients. Get Daisy cottage cheese. Daisy cottage cheese has no fillers. And it keeps me full, brother. Keeps me full.
Love that.
I love it. It's good stuff.
So you got cottage cheese. You can eat eggs. You can eat, I mean, your favorite, beef.
I love beef. I had a pound of beef today, actually.
Yeah.
So lean beef, lean chicken is my go-to. I like making stir fries. I just find that really easy, and so I eat a lot of lean chicken with that. Air fry it. Actually, check this out. Cut chicken breast up into little bite-sized pieces. Put it in the air fryer for 8 minutes at 400. Take it out. Shake it. Another 8 minutes at 400.
Let's go.
Done.
That sounds really good.
It is very good. Different seasonings. I usually just do salt and pepper because I have this killer sauce. I literally love this sauce. It is the best sauce ever. Really great.
You look like Donald Trump right now. I just want to say.
It's really great, actually. It's the best sauce, really. We just lost half our viewership right there.
No, we are not taking political side right now. We are just stating he looked like Donald Trump with his hands.
It was a joke. We made a joke. It's okay to laugh. But yeah, man. But
we just got a shutdown. So
I know we did. We just got demonetized.
We never were.
They don't know that.
We're definitely not going to be now. Anyway, move on.
But I don't know. I'm a really simple guy, so I eat a lot of jasmine rice. I love jasmine rice. A lot of peppers and onions, lean beef, lean chicken. I've been hit up on that protein pasta, so I like to have some protein pasta every now and again.
Protein pasta.
I sneak it into kids' mac and cheese sometimes.
They don't even know. They don't need to know.
I put protein powder in their pancake mix, man. They have no idea.
Like that kid. But we're getting the gist here. You get it. So the protein. Here's the thing. Sorry, my phone's going off there. The protein content in these foods, that's going to help stimulate that GLP-1 hormone. It's going to signal that, right? So your body's going to say, oh, I feel satisfied, because protein is a satisfying macronutrient. It creates satiety. And you can have that. He's saying right there, his lifestyle is protein. He's sneaking into kids' stuff. He probably even puts it into the water half the time. I don't even know what this guy does. Do you put it in your toilet bowl too? And what do you like? Proteins with everything.
I have 10 grams of creatine every day with BCAAs, EAAs, and electrolytes.
We're talking to the wrong guy right now. He's a freak. He's a freak. But
I'm crazy.
it's crazy. If you increase your protein content to like at least, I would say 0.5 to 0.7 grams per pound of body weight, you will have a very powerful leverage with the formulation of a GLP-1 hormone for yourself. Protein is your first macronutrient you should always go to if you want to stimulate the production of that. And then with George, you're talking about some of the fiber, like some of the things you were saying too, include some fiber, like some of the protein pasta has some fiber in there as well, and some rice. If you do brown rice especially, has a couple grams of fiber in there. White rice, not so much, but I think there's 1 gram. But you get what I'm saying? Like you can eat things like black beans, or you can eat things like flaxseed or chia seeds, or even glyphosate-free oatmeal, apples and berries. I mean, again, high fiber, what that will do is it improves the GLP-1 release, which creates this satisfaction. Again, your hunger will start to go down, right? And you'll be like, I'm satisfied. Exactly what you want to secrete into the body. So your brain's signaling, okay, I'm good, I'm full, I'm satisfied. All these foods, even like healthy fats. We are not anti-fat here. And then when you actually eat healthy fats, like George, do you eat avocados or avocado oil or olive oil or anything?
Yeah, avocado oil all the time.
Okay. So, and it's a healthy oil. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good, and it slows down. What's good about a healthy fat, coconut oil even, it's good about these. It slows down the gastric emptying. And so what that means, it keeps the satiety hormone, if you will. It keeps it so you're like, okay, I'm signaling that I'm satisfied, right? So it releases that, and it's like, okay, I'm good. It's signaling you're satisfied. The fat stays with you longer for satiety, which again really creates this bigger effect for the GLP-1 hormone. So, if you want to look at it this way, kind of we'll get rolling here. I know we're getting about an hour mark. If you want to eat in a way that maximizes that response, protein's always first. Protein is always first, and start your meals with it. And what that'll do is that'll help your body understand the satiation. You're good. And then ensure, I would say this: slow down your eating. I have a hard time with this myself, but I know it's important. Slow down. Take normal size bites, eat in a slower way, chew 20 times if you can, and don't act like you're going in a fire. Okay, like, oh, I'm gonna never have this again. No, you're gonna eat again in 3 to 4 hours. You'll be fine. So try to slow down. And I would also say avoid the sugar and the ultra processed foods. If you do those 3 things that we just talked about, you will activate the GLP-1 hormone pretty consistently, and you'll be fine. Other things you can do, guys, to help initiate fat loss would obviously be exercising, lifting weights, regular exercise. Regular exercise actually improves the GLP-1 sensitivity. And so what would happen from there is your body's more sensitive to the release of that hormone. And what that will do is it improves insulin, it helps push more glucose out and creates a quicker satiety to the body, which I think is pretty cool overall. But yeah, end of the story here, George. What do we have? So I think we talked a good amount about natural approaches. We discussed the risk factors. We discussed the cultural norm now of we don't want to do the hard work. And we discussed that if this is necessary for you, do it knowing the risks. Don't feel guilty about it. You don't need to say, I feel guilty about it. But just make sure it's worth it for you at this current time. That's how I would say with it. And do it smart. Do it smart.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't want people to hear that we're just poo-pooing on the whole thing, saying it's bad, it's evil, it's crap. No, it's not, but we want you to be well-roundedly informed. Okay, because all you're going to hear from the commercials is about how good it is, and then they'll 3 times speed run through all the side effects right at the end. But our encouragement to you is what our encouragement has always been, honestly, right, Jay? Small habitual changes will lead to long-term success. That's what we've preached this entire time, and we are simply being consistent about who we are. That's all we're doing. We are taking the GLP-1, we are putting it under the formula of what 600 pounds down has always been, and we're just being consistent with our worldview. That's all.
Yep, with our view on it. Absolutely. So, guys, we're always going to bring you some truth. We're always going to bring you the studies that we have and the knowledge that we have from the table here with 600 pounds down. Um, I never want to sugarcoat anything. And what George and I both said, we both can say the same thing. We love you. We care about you. We want to give you the best that we can give you. And we would do you an injustice if we didn't talk about this. And I'm sorry, even at the beginning, I kind of got a little tongue tied, but like, it's just such a big topic and it can be a little confusing, even explaining it sometimes. But thanks for sticking with us and thanks for listening in. And, we might even have a part two on this sometime. And I'm even trying to get Tiffany Ryder back on eventually because she has a lot to say about this too. And she was a ER nurse that she worked firsthand in the wellness field or in the medical field. So she knows what's going on. And this would be a good thing. She's done a lot of research on this. She's connected with the Maha movement and has done some extensive research on this topic. And she is definitely not for it. She's definitely saying like, no, this doesn't work for people. She knows the long-term potential that can happen. So again, we will try to take the neutral road with it and talk about the potentials and talk about the side effects and talk about what you need to know. But ultimately, you are in your driver's seat, friends. You are the one responsible for your own health. We're just here to say, what can we do to help you? If you want coaching, if you need some assistance in any way, shape, or form, we are here for that. George is releasing a book. We are both going to be releasing a book, 63 Days as well, at 600 pounds down. So these are all options for you to take advantage of. If you ever need help or assistance, we're here to help you. So you don't need to go that direction. We have seen great results. So thank you for joining us, George. Anything else you want to say before we head out tonight?
Oh, that was good, man. Let's end it right there.
All right. Love you guys. We'll see you next time on
600 Pounds Down podcast.